would be shot.
You'd be killed in the first day of office.
Assassinated.
Yeah.
I would be at the point of being
Corey, I would be terrified.
Like 16
They would put you in Guantanamo, you monster.
It would be like
Corey,
it would be like RoboCop. I'd be shot so much my arms would blow up.
Who would shoot you in the head? Who would do the last shot?
All women and children.
What? Together?
Yeah.
Corey, let me give you one last President Corey thing, right? Worst thing to ever hit America. A dirty bomb goes off in Times Square, New York. 1 million people dead. You have to make a speech to your people, to your citizens. What do you say?
I'm sorry. This is devastating to everyone and everyone else in the world. So we decided to put a big blanket over the explosion. That way, we can save money on resources. And we can say goodnight to all of them.
You're gonna spend like $50 million netting a huge blanket to throw over New York's hole.
Corpses and fucking smoldering ashes, you freak. What are you talking about?
The blanket's just gonna get sticky and rot over the city.
You don't know what kind of blanket it is.
What's it made out of?
What's it made of?
It's that blue tarp shit.
Oh, that solves everything.
Corey, does it or does it have a big Sonic the Hedgehog face on top? Alright, let's end this fucking segment, Jesus Christ.
A giant Sonic the Hedgehog memorial over fucking...
The astronauts are looking down.
This is 9/11 times like a million. And you put fucking Sonic the Hedgehog smiling.
It's only decided, like, just put a big tarp over it and walk.
Fucking blanket over
Sonic wagging his finger up at the fucking satellites.
The astronauts are like throwing up in space.
Meanwhile, fucking Iraq is laughing its ass off.
Yeah, because...
What? They got Sonic.
They have a brown Sonic. I should have said that. Let's move on.
Anyways, that's my presidential campaign.
Alright.
So Nikki,
Hashtag Corey 2016.
Hashtag brown Sonic.
Nikki.
Yes.
He doesn't use rings, he uses rupees.
Artistry. Being an artist.
He's back to art school.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours later.
So going from a Sonic the Hedgehog top over nuclear devastated New York.
Where you brought up
back to art
Sonic?
school.
You brought up Sonic. You brought up my supposed addiction.
God bless you, Corey.
What do you guys think of Sonic fan art on DeviantArt?
I don't like Sonic fan art unless it's like...
What do you think of Sonic original characters? Have you ever made a Sonic original character?
I never did, but I wasn't a fan of it.
I was really bad at it, so I kind of stopped.
Was it Corey the Hedgehog?
No. It was
Corey the cat.
It wasn't like a blue Sonic with a green coat. That's... Or blue Sonic with a green coat.
It was Sonic with Corey's glasses and a haircut.
Corey, if you could make like an Avengers type team out of like cartoon characters,
fucking Christ,
who would be
Jeff.
like your cartoon dream team?
This will be chaos, Jeff. Why'd you set this up?
Jesus.
So finally I've crossed the
Cartoon
line.
Dream Team.
Like Sonic be the leader,
No, Sonic would die.
and like the apple.
How would he die, Corey?
Yeah, how would he die?
What's that pony called? Apple pie.
Sonic
apple,
would get his head
something.
stepped on by Peter Griffin,
He'd
Homer
choke on a
Simpson,
chili
Goku, Squidward.
Yeah, I would have Goku, Squidward, Peter Griffin.
Hold on. Let me go. It's my thing. Okay? Goku, SpongeBob, Peter Griffin, Squidward.
Fuck you, Corey.
Tommy Pickles,
Big the Cat.
Goku Jr., aka Gohan.
Sheen.
We need a big robot.
Skeeter from Doug.
Skeeter from Doug will be the big robot. Yeah.
Lino or Panthro. No Thundercats. No Thundercats.
I guess I could throw in an 80s cartoon.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He-Man.
Do the
Street
Rat guy.
Sharks.
Do Rat Boys.
Yes!
Street Sharks.
Yes!
I used to watch that show.
What about the Silverhawks? What about that little monkey Silverhawk with the chrome armor? Do you remember him? Never mind.
I need to call up Harry and ask him some 80s
He's like him,
cartoons.
Chris. He's a monkey.
Really?
Yeah.
I like monkeys.
Little monkey.
Okay.
He can fly.
What do you think?
I would make a...
I'm trying to keep a tally of how many times Chris comes over. He's like, look at this funny video.
It's a monkey.
And it's a gorilla throwing shit.
Yeah, it's just a screaming gorilla.
And Chris is laughing. He's got the biggest
It's
grin.
weird
It's
because
fucking
Chris
Christmas
sits on
morning.
he sits on his ass and rocks back and forth and claps his hands like a monkey. he turns into a monkey whenever he watches those.
Chris is in a transition right now.
I like monkeys. I like apes. I like mighty gray apes.
But they're scary.
They're not.
They're violent.
They're gentle giants that go.
Yeah.
Are you sure they
If
do?
you let them sniff your hair, if you don't, they'll rip your skin off and give it back to
Corey,
you.
you need to know the correct touch. You need to walk up, put your hand on the big gorilla's huge forehead, and you just say, "Hi-yo!" And
What if I did this?
And then he's yours.
What if I did this to the gorilla?
He has to be your slave for a million years.
What if I did this to the gorilla?
Explain what you're doing, Corey.
Beat your hands
Wait, I
together.
have a question for Chris.
Yeah.
I did the remove the thumb trick. What would the gorilla do then?
If a gorilla and a bear were in a fight, who do you think would win?
The gorilla would fucking rip the bear's head off and throw it at a
Bear,
bear.
Bears are fucking
The
like
bear
a
could get a
grizzly
couple-
bear.
No, but a gorilla would be like, oh, and then he would pick up the bear and throw it into the sun.
Like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, but the bear has teeth and claws.
Yeah, but have you seen a gorilla's fangs? They're fucking huge.
Jeff,
Do gorillas bite people?
Yes. Do
Yeah,
bears have opposable thumbs? Didn't think so. Do bears have fucking hands on their feet? I didn't
No,
think
bears
so.
have
can-
strong ass teeth.
Yeah.
Do bears,
and run up
do
there.
bears have fucking cinder block foreheads? I
They have
didn't think
claws like
so.
that though. What? What's
Jeff, I got
that?
a serious question.
Yeah, serious.
Yeah, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Different, we're changing the pace for the podcast for once.
Finally.
Who would win in a fight?
Yeah.
Here we go.
The Terminator or Tito from Rocket Power? Now answer carefully,
I've
Jeff.
never. What did you teed in rocket
Oh, it's the
power?
worst cartoon ever.
He gives life advice from the ancient Hawaiians.
He's like,
Hello, wears flip flops.
That guy, the voice actor died from brain cancer. Like,
Who's the
the
other
show
one?
was canceled.
Really?
Yeah, that's real. He
Who's
dead.
the other one?
As the ancient
The
ones used to
T-1000?
He
say.
hits your legs, you say, "Ow, my brain!" Oh,
Zach!
what?
Come on!
He's not gonna hear me. He's fucking dead.
Who would win?
Oh yeah.
Do you guys remember in that show when Tony Hawk
Yeah,
was
Tony
on
Hawk!
it? And they hyped it up so much,
Yeah.
and when you watched it, he was at the very end. It was
Yeah.
like 1 minute,
And
and,
he's a
you're
fucking-
like, that was it?
He's a fucking orange blob on the screen that they drew really badly.
Yeah, he's like, wow, you guys got some rad skill. You want to skate? And it's over.
Yeah, at the beginning of this, I was like, whoa, it's Tony Hawk! And it's like, he does a flip, and then he's shitty looking, and he doesn't look anything like Tony Hawk. He's this orange dude with yellow hair and a helmet. Why is that?
It's like, where are you going?
He's going upstairs to watch Tony Hawk and Rocket Power.
Rocket Power.
Ding, 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 ding,
Is
ding.
it me again? He doesn't say a thing about the artistry.
You fucker, get up! Come on, get down with
Artist.
sickness!
Being an artist, successful artist, or whatever.
Oh.
Getting your
Who would
start.
win in a fight? Marty McFly or
2000.
Mark Summers,
Marty
the
McFly.
host of the Nickelodeon game shows Double Dare.
Marty
Marty McFly, because he has the hoverboard, and he can just...
Yeah, and he would
Mark Summers has a lot of slime
You
though.
would throw dirt at Mark Summers and Mark Summers loses shit. OCD. He'll like wash his skin off and that'd be the end of it.
Mark Summers would spray Marty with slime, and Marty would be like, whoa, this is heavy! And then he'd drown and die. Okay, Zach has a real topic. What is
I'm
it?
gonna puppy. Seriously, you. And our guest, what's her face, can fucking talk about it. So that's good.
Clit-dax. Go.
hurry up.
Establishing yourself as an artist.
There we go.
Yes, recently...
you walk
Recently-
you show your picture,
Show your pussy.
you make sure to
Go to
include
chat,
your
mate.
signature.
Go on, check
Mickey,
it.
talk about establishing yourself as an artist.
Alright, recently I left my office job after 2 years. And I did a lot of stupid paperwork there, and now I'm trying to do art full-time, which I'm not really sure what that means, but so far I've only done commissions, and I don't like doing commissions. So I'm trying to figure out how to establish yourself as an artist.
What I first did when I started out is like getting noticed and stuff. First of all, you're already established. People know your art. They think you're very good at what you do, and people know and they see it. So you're not really in the area where people are still like, "Hey, look at me." You're out of that. But I guess establishing it now is kind of like making it.
Solidify.
Some points, like, how can I make enough money where I am okay?
I would say this, like, the hardest part is what you've already done. The hardest part, let's use an airplane as an analogy. The hardest part is taking off. Once you get in the air, you're good. You just need to stabilize it at that point.
Yeah, you're basically.
So you've already established your brand of who you are. I would just say,
Here's what hold on, like, to go on what you're saying, because that's a good analogy. Here's where you basically are. You're at that point where they're telling you can turn on your cell phones and computers now. That's where you are. So you're at the top point where the flight's just started. Now you can start doing
now
shit.
you can fuck around.
Now you can fuck around.
I would just say, always be aware of. And this is a big problem with artists, because artists are terrible business people, terrible. So I would just say, be conscious of what is going on and what's going to keep you afloat, but that also you want to do. Like a lot of people, I'm trying to think of examples. A lot of people will refuse to be consistent. Be consistent. So like for this shitty podcast that everyone hates, we should all kill ourselves. I'm gonna walk guns. I'm gonna buy a gun. I'm gonna kill myself in the mouth with a gun. The bullet's gonna hit my brain and kill me. But
do sawed-off shots.
no.
Wait. Before that, I think it'd be really funny. What are those contraptions called where it's like you set one thing off and it's like
Jeff talked about this a lot of times. This is Jeff's suicide method.
Yeah,
That would be very funny.
That's Jeff's
The
suicide
Rube
method.
Goldberg,
Yeah.
isn't it? Is that what it's called?
What?
The Rube Goldberg?
Yeah, I think.
That's like the name of the guy that invented it, I guess.
But anyways, my point is, we release this podcast every Friday. I would say that's the first step, is being consistent. Then I would start to branch out once you have consistency. Once you start getting money from doing anything consistently, start finding other ways of income and use that income to start branching out however you can. I think that's important. Is to just branch out and don't stay stagnant. Don't just plateau.
Yeah, expand.
If you
because-
plateau, you're gonna stay plateau. You might even lose some money.
Yeah, for instance, I used to, back in the day, specifically use YouTube only. And YouTube in like new rounds, I use nothing else. And only recently, maybe like a few years ago, I've gotten into Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr. And I use all that stuff to expand my art. And it helps because it gets more people, because some people don't use Twitter a lot. Some people use only Twitter and don't use Facebook.
So how would I use YouTube if I just draw? Like I don't.
You could
I
use
don't
speed
animate.
paints.
For you, I
art.
think it's a big example. I would say find the equivalent of it. So basically, look what you could do and then grab that. Look what you could do if you expanded. So think of what you would do if you're going to expand.
Yeah, for instance, if you did an art thing, you did a big art thing, people sometimes want to see the process of that. Like Shad uploads speed arts all the time when he gets a chance, and people like seeing that. You can upload that to YouTube, and you can put the art stuff on your like site you want to do. And then if you had a consistent art, because you have a very fun like cartoon style, and you could have a site where you have people do comics and stuff and stay consistent, and then people could look up specifically stuff from you. You could do stuff on your Twitter and just interact.
Also,
with social
I'd like to
things.
point out Shadman,
Yeah.
a good friend of the podcast.
Ew.
Whoa.
Ew.
Oh, fuck off.
Hello, I am Shadbud. Look
No, but he also
Look at
he only
fucking
draws
Kyle.
too. But what he'll do is he'll put on YouTube and put speed paints.
Yeah.
Of him drawing and do a time lapse.
Yeah, I love those.
So there's a lot of ways you can do. I would just say don't think inside the box. Think of it. What ways can I expand? How do I get to those goals? And how do I keep from fucking imploding myself? Because once I said, if you crawl out of the swamp and you fucking stabilize in the air, you got to keep going. You have to keep getting momentum. You can't just stagnate. That's the most important thing I would say is establish yourself. But I mean, I think we could all talk about too, even the first step of how you establish yourself. A lot of people can't make it that far. That's hard for a lot of people too.
Yeah, that, I guess, yeah. Also kind of establishing yourself is doing that thing that, kind of doing something that makes you stick out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
not even. I would say be original. Be
no, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, Shad does lots of, Shad does art of all categories. He doesn't have, like, because, and I'm kind of the same way. I don't like the idea of doing boring art, like porn and stuff anyone else can see. Anyone can see a girl fucking a guy. Anyone can see a girl with big old titties hanging out.
Nice.
Anyone can see a dude sitting there with his dick hanging out. But then there's specific things people
make me
want to
thirsty
see
for
that
it.
nobody sees. And it's like, I want to do that. I want to make the stuff that nobody sees but wants to see. And you know there's people out there who like that stuff but don't want to say it. So you do that, and that establishes you as like, oh, he does this stuff. And
Well-
then that kind of expense. But that's more important.
I would just say, as far as establishing yourself, I wouldn't, because that's a broad thing. If you're a cartoonist or an animator or a musician, do whatever makes you unique. I would say don't try to be unique, just be yourself, as gay as that sounds.
Yeah.
Not to fucking Mr. Rogers it up here, but just just do what you want to do. Don't think, oh, Minecraft parodies are I'll do those for now. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do stuff that's
If you want to do parodies to get a little bit of a bigger audience to start off, that's fine. But parody stuff you like. So don't jump on the fucking Flappy Bird because it's the hottest thing for this week. If you're gonna parody stuff or do anything like that to get a bigger audience, that's fine. But just make sure it's genuine. And you come back in 5 years and laugh at it.
And actually, make it actually funny if you're going to at least do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something we talked about. Because it's like, if you're thinking about it, and this is something that I think we talked about a while ago, that when you die, what do you want to be remembered for?
let's talk about our shittiest cartoons ever and why we made
shittiest
them.
thing you've ever made.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
What's the shittiest thing
I'm
you
gonna
made?
just-
Story
I'll
behind?
start-
Clown robbery. I'll say it. Clown robbery. I hate that.
robbery?
And let me clarify. Let me footnote this.
Alright.
Let me asterisk this. Jeff did a great job with the clown. I'm proud of the animation I did in that. I'm proud of everything except for the writing. The writing of that is filth. I hate the writing of that. And I think Jeff salvaged it the best he could with his voice acting, but I butchered that cartoon so badly, and I spent so long on it that I hate
You're
it.
way
I
too
despise
hard
it.
on yourself.
Maybe I am, but
It's like, it's not bad at worst. It's not bad at all.
that's my point. That's why I hate it.
If it was like horrible, then you should kill yourself, but it's not
The fact that
bad.
it's not even horrible, entertaining, it's also not great. It's like a
I
weird
like it.
gray
It's
area.
not bad.
It's still better than almost
Yeah.
everything on animated on
It was
YouTube.
because I was rusty and I was trying to come back after like a year. I was like, oh, this is my big comeback video. And I just fucking hated
It's
it.
really weird coming back from not doing
That's what I
anything.
mean. I was just like, oh, that's how you do videos, right?
My
The
worst.
feedback was alright, but it was one of those things where I was super insecure with the small things.
Yeah.
So the one out of like every 1,000 comments, I was like, the writing was terrible. I was like, oh,
You're fucking
they know.
Well, we should append this. You should say, you guys should say what you feel your worst was and what you think your fans think the worst was.
Oh, I think my my fans probably hate Pokemon the worst, and that's one of those videos that I hate.
Have I
but
seen Pokemon?
It's really bad. It's one of those videos that I hate, but it's not like Clown Robbery. Like I can watch people are laughing like that's terrible. Yeah, it's a funny kind of. I hate it.
Pokemon is the
It's just
funniest
bad. I
shit.
just laugh at.
My
it.
worst one is the wacky game jokes parody I made.
I like that
Yeah.
one. I love that one.
That's the worst one I ever made.
I like it when the hair goes
It's
backwards.
just, it's
Oh, is
just
that a parody of wacky game jokes for kids or
Yeah.
something? Okay.
it was just random nonsense. Like that's all it was. It was just try hard randomness. There's no sense to it. It's
I like the part where he punches her and bites her vagina
yeah.
off.
It's like that just sounds like a fucking guy who's like, guys, isn't this funny? Put me in your script writing team. Like it's fucking gay, but I guess yeah, people. That's my worst.
Nal walked in at the perfect moment. Nal, Pokemon, ain't it the best?
Pokemon, like, okay, wait. There's the thing that makes me laugh most about Pokemon is the fact that, like, Zach just started getting popular at the time, so I like just to think of him scrambling to make shit. To be like, make something that it's pretty much like unintentionally the perfect formulaic Flash cartoon. It's brilliant. It's a masterpiece in its own way.
It's weird. Not to compare myself to anybody that is remotely good, but Larry David ever talked about like he compared it to like a game of golf or a game of sex or like comedy, where like if he plays a really bad game of golf, the next game he plays is really good. And I feel like that with my videos. I feel like if I do a really bad video, like if I do the worst video, the next video is always the best one. If you look at my videos, look at the release dates. I feel like my worst videos and my best videos are always back to back, at least to me, because I'll do a really bad one. They're like, oh, fuck it, I don't even care. Fuck these people, these idiots. And I'll make a video and be like, fuck you. And they're like, oh, I like this. I'm like, alright, I'm not that bad. I'll make a video and be horrible because I have this weird ego going into it. It's a weird. Does anybody else feel like that? Like, do you have a weird kind of flow to it?
Yeah.
It's like organic or something.
You might try to experiment and it doesn't go as well.
Exactly.
Do you ever get mad something's too popular?
What's that?
You ever get mad like you ever get mad something you make is too popular and too quoted? Like your
My RTV video got
or-
exploded, and then people were constantly.
Yeah, I got tired of the ego rapture.
Yeah, Ego Rapture was quoting a lot.
I'm fucking sick. I'm sick of fucking Dragon's Ball P.
Oh my god, dude.
I'm so sick of it.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry I made that. I'm sorry.
Ego Rapture still, like, when I did that thing for Aaron, I was still getting people quoting Ego Rapture. It's like, it's good to see things just can't die. They just live
It's called ego rapture.
Rapture, yeah.
Okay, can I talk about two things?
Yeah.
Did she answer, Chris? You big dick.
This bitch?
This fucking slut right here.
This fucking coon?
Just go,
What's the worst
Hanging
thing
her
ever made?
titties out.
What's the worst
Hanging
thing
her-
ever made?
shaking her guns around?
Come on, bitch.
Come on, answer me. Come on. Come on, show daddy what you got.
Shake
What?
those hot topics.
I don't make offensive cartoons like you guys.
Even
Like
even though
you bad guys over here, you criminals.
good.
You offensive pieces of shits.
What's something you're like, man, I wish I had not have done that, put that out? There's something you've done where you're like, I should not have done that?
No, I try to stay away from that. I try
she's
not
so
to offend
vain.
people.
Oh, look at you. Oh, look at
Little
you.
Miss
something you
G-rated
did?
over here.
That you thought
She's
was
not
epic, and
drawing
no one
all
else
of
did.
us like dead half the time all day.
Whatever.
Wait, can I say one thing? No, two things. Okay, wait.
One thing,
What? I was in a Skype call.
Yeah.
Should I talk? Fuck.
I want to say.
Zach, many years ago, I was in a Skype call with you. I said, Zach, I can do a perfect Vegeta impression, and I did it.
Yeah.
And then we both wrote a really stupid script, and then we made it into Dragon's Ball P, right?
Really, what happened? It was a little bit different than that, slightly different.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, so go Vegeta, whatever you did.
Yeah.
And I typed like one line for you saying, I was like, record this, you did it, and then you animated that.
Yeah.
It was like 4 lines.
Yeah,
and
no,
then,
it was the Super
and then
Saiyan.
you turned that four lines into like a whole cartoon.
Yeah, right. So that's how that came, and I liked the first one. I really enjoyed making it, and then I started making the second one because I always wanted to do something with Frieza because I love Frieza. But the second one didn't turn out how I wanted it to, and Zach saved it. Zach wrote the ending to it because he's a genius.
Oh,
With the fucking Goku coming towards the
I
earth.
don't know. That's when I was visiting Ireland, and I was like, you know, get on that. So I was like, what if? You know, Goku's face gets really big sometimes, like in
Yeah.
clouds. I was like,
Yeah.
What if it pans out? He's just a huge giant slant to the.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, Goku's face will like smile down on them. And I was gonna write another joke for that, but then Zach had the perfect ending, so he did that. But what I'm trying to say here is, I enjoyed making 1. 2, I got stressed out while making it, and then I started not liking it. And then when I released it, I was like, I'm not happy with it, except Zach saved it.
I feel like the first half of it's bad, but the second half is good.
Yeah. Like
the first half is kind of weak.
I'm just trying to say, I didn't mean for it to become this fucking plague of YouTube icons and fucking.
Dude, I tell you?
Dude, I didn't think the same when I.
Sorry, I just want to say something about Dragon's Ball P. I was on like some video. I was going through like weird, like deep videos. I was kept going through them. And I got to some weird like eugenics debate, and one guy was like, I was reading his comment, and he was like, all niggers and kikes should be massacred, and he had a fucking Dragon's Ball P icon, and I was like, oh my god!
Wait.
Whoa, should I say anything?
I'm not done yet. Wait, I just wanted to say, I'm glad people like it, but it's one of those things where it got too big, and I don't like that, because now that's what I'm known for, and like, everyone grows in their art. Everyone grows away from things. I've grown away from that now. When people come up and say, I love Dragon Ball P, I don't know what to say anymore because I don't think it's very good.
It's funny though.
I like the first one for being funny, and I like the end of the second one for being funny. But what really pisses me off, what really infuriates me, okay, that's the same thing, but what makes me sad,
Aggravates you, upsets you.
what upsets me is Leviosa 1 was the same deal. I thoroughly enjoyed making that, and I liked the first one. And then the second one, I was so super try-hard, and I was like, she pretty much gets raped, and I thought it was funny at the time. And
your original version was really creepy.
It was worse. It was worse.
If you can believe that his original, you know me, I was like, Chris, that's too rapey.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember in the original one, she actually pretty much gets raped. So in the new one, I made her enjoy it.
She's lightheartedly.
Yeah. All it took was
before she was screaming, stop!
No. All it took to change it was a facial expression. I changed her scared face into a happy face.
Because it's playful. It's cute.
I want to say I don't like that cartoon anymore, and I'm glad people like it, but I don't like it, and I think that's it.
Let's give a shout out to Rice Pirate for doing all those voices for you guys.
Fucking Rice Pirate did the perfect Severus.
Handsome Mick. Calvin Klein, as they call him.
Mine was Ego Rapture, and what's ironic is it was supposed to
stop that.
Yeah, it was like shut up, open your fucking eyes, stop repeating yourself, parrots, and but instead it just caused it even more so. Like it was a fucking flat-on war. It's just like it brought the soldiers in and fucking unleashed them on everyone that was doing stuff. Yeah, so
that's exactly mirrored by my
Yeah. I made the video, and it was specifically to make fun of the people who say everything is related to Ego Raptor. That's why people were going around being like, Ego Raptor delivers a pizza, and like stuff like that. Yeah. It was a joke. It was like, okay, Ego Raptor's God. He does everything. He's in everything. He's literally the messiah of animation. Yeah. And then I made a stupid dumbass parody from that of him like doing everything, and then people were like, and they go to anything that resembles Ego Raptor, they would quote that. Not ironically, but angrily. Like it would be like an ironic joke where people would get it and it would kind of be insulting. So these people who spend time on this stuff, even if it resembled something slightly to Ego Raptor, there'd be a million Ego Raptor quotes and the fucking video would be downvoted to hell and back. And it's just like, I felt so bad because it's like, I didn't mean... And I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's like I didn't mean to like cause these people to go out and just fucking specifically trigger these videos and ruin these people's days. It's like I just made a fucking video because I wanted them to stop like making comparisons.
When I did my early to the video, it was a reaction like yours. It was like your video was mine was like basically like a big shut up.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
And all it did was kind of I think it stopped it a little bit. It had some like a fraction to do with like people stopped doing that. But of course, all the top comments were.
The future of fucking cunt,
Yeah.
That's your fault.
Yep. Jeff, what about you?
Nikki Baby.
Something I regret making.
Like, no, the people overquoted a lot. And you're just like, oh god, I wish I wouldn't have
The
done
first
that.
Pac-Man cartoon I made was quoted a lot. I can't even fucking remember the lines now. It's like,
Hey, I'm gonna be a dad.
I'm gonna shoot my dick off. It's like,
I like how that was quoted.
I love
Stanford's parody was the best because it was
Cock
stupid
joke.
and pointless.
It got really weird too because people started hating. It got too popular for its own good on Newgrounds at the time, where people started getting mad and saying, "Oh, it's just a bunch of dick jokes," and then they start making these like hateful parodies of it. And then one night, this kid sent me this hateful parody, and clearly he was just like trying to take shots at me with it, and I'm just like, I'll show you how to do a hateful fucking parody. And I made one poking fun at myself even harder than he was, and I sent it back to him like, no, this is how you make fun of me, asshole. And that ended up being like almost as popular as like the original one, which was even weirder.
What was it called?
It was the one where the characters say nothing but cock and balls the whole cock and balls, cock and balls, cock. I don't know, it just went on and just anyway. Probably not funny anymore.
Jeff, when's the big trilogy gonna come out? The third one.
I wrote several more, and I started making it. They just ended up being like 15 minutes long, and I'm just like, this is. I kind of quit making them because it started to stress me out because I felt like I wasn't getting better as an artist making them because
they're simple calculus.
Yeah, they're so limited and simple. I'm just like, shit, I'm not really getting any better here. So even though people liked them and I liked writing them,
Is that the go-to thing people say when they meet you?
They're like cock
creative technique.
Nah, not anymore. I don't know. It's sort of. I guess at this point they're kind of fading into history, as they say. A lot of people still remember them, but I mean, I haven't made one since
2005 or 6.
I made the first one in 2006, and like the last one was like 2009 or something.
Oh well.
So,
Nikki.
Yes, Corey.
Sticky Nicky.
Who are artists you guys like when you were younger that you rediscovered recently? Like who are your biggest inspirations as artists? Like online at least, when you were younger. 10 years ago.
Legendary Frog.
Oh my god.
It's true.
Holy.
I would say my biggest one, like Legendary Frog.
He inspired people. He really did. He like
I liked his cartoons when I was
he
like.
got Aaron into fucking animation.
Yeah.
Aaron got me into animation.
That's nuts. How old
You know, I used to watch.
now?
I think he's really underrated. Gene Goldstein. I used to watch his videos when I was like.
I don't know who that is.
He did a series called Hyperboy.
Really?
Yeah, I was a big fan of it when I was younger.
Oh, you showed me that, and that's what Zach looks like, kind of.
It's a really scary story because when I was really young, what?
For artists, for me, it's kind of like I don't remember the artist, but I remember at one point there's like because for me, I'm not like fawning over like concept artists. I'm more fawning over porn I used to jerk off to. So the artist that I used to jerk off to, like you remember it because it's kind of weird because it's like that threshold where it's like you see porn. Threshold. You see porn now, and it's like these new artists who come out who do porn. It's just like there's just like style that it's almost like so evolved, like coloring and stuff. It's really good. Then you look at stuff from like 2008 and 6, and it's all very fucking like Christian school coloring book crap, and it's like what the fuck? It's like I used to think this was like hot, and it's just very basic. There's like no shade.
I recall fucking thinking the Return of Ganondorf by Legendary Frog was the best video on the internet. The best.
I used to love it.
Yeah, Jeff, you know what I'm talking about.
I never was a huge fan of that from day one.
I was a little bit younger than you though when that came out, so forgive me for being a fucking retard.
It's alright.
My favorite video was the thing Aaron made 100 years ago, the Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I
show.
Yeah.
That was the funniest. That was the funniest shit to me when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
It was just hilarious. It was just stupid.
I didn't even watch Dragon Ball Z, and I was like,
I know. It's just like whenever he's like, I'm gonna be Super Saiyan, and then they're like, nah, you're not gonna be Super Saiyan. He's on the toilet. He's like,
Aaron didn't even make that video. Some like guy took his audio.
Yeah, he made the audio, but didn't make the video.
Well, the guy who made the video was a genius because it was fucking hilarious. It was just funny when they were like, we're gonna save the world, and then like Trunks and Goons comes out. It's like, well, you guys can't. You're like 8, and they're like, shut up. It's funny now, but at the time, it's really snappy and quick. Even back then.
It was the fucking brain of an ADHD child.
Yeah.
in a good way.
No, it
We
was.
all were.
It was great.
That's why it appealed.
Did you ever go to the site called stickdeath.com?
I
Yes.
loved it.
Yes.
Greens versus blues and shit.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell
The
you this?
Beast was like the
Yeah, the
coolest shit
Beast.
to me. Yeah.
I made a fan animation of the Beast.
Me too. I made it in MS Paint though.
I made it
didn't know how to make it.
I made an animation shop 3 when I was younger. I got
Oh
a Figma
my
Paint Shop Pro
God.
8 on my 13th birthday.
I fucking love Stick Death. Me and my friends would just after school we'd go like do the Stick Death cartoon. We'd just watch it and laugh.
Go
our
on
asses
YouTube
off.
and type in The Ground's Not Safe 3D. That's like one of
Really?
my first animations that I made it in Animation Shop 3 where there's no layers. You have to do it like frame by frame. So what I do is I make a background, copy it over like 50 frames,